atmosphere like a falling star. Marcus felt the electrical charge building in the air, making his hair stand on end. The pod's instruments went haywire as they descended through layers of ionized gases. What the Zephyrians didn't know was that Marcus wasn't just any human. He was a former atmospheric engineer who had spent years studying electromagnetic phenomena on Earth's most dangerous storm fronts. The pod crashed into a valley of copper-veined stone, its emergency beacon immediately fried by a nearby lightning strike. Marcus crawled from the wreckage, his standard-issue survival suit already smoking from the ambient electrical field. He had perhaps an hour before the suit's insulation failed completely, but Marcus had no intention of relying on alien technology. He stripped off the failing suit and felt the planet's raw energy wash over him. Every hair on his body stood at attention, and his skin tingled with static charge. Where others saw death, Marcus saw patterns. The lightning wasn't random. It followed the mineral veins in the rock, creating predictable pathways of least resistance. Working quickly, he salvaged copper wire from the crashed pod and fashioned a crude Faraday cage around a natural cave opening. It wasn't perfect, but it would give him time to adapt. Then came the hard part, learning to move with the storm rather than against it. For 3 days, Marcus studied the lightning's rhythm. He noticed that the strikes followed tidal patterns, influenced by the planet's 3 moons. He mapped the electromagnetic fields, identified safe zones, and discovered something remarkable. The storms had a heartbeat. On the 4th day, he ventured out. Marcus had woven copper wire through his clothes, creating a primitive but effective conductor system. He moved through the valley like a dancer, timing his steps to the storm's pulse. When lightning struck near him, instead of running, he guided it through his makeshift conductors into the ground. The energy that should have killed him simply flowed around him. By the end of the first week, he was harvesting the lightning. Using salvaged components and his engineering knowledge, Marcus built a collection array that could capture and store the electrical energy. He powered lights, heating elements, and communication devices. The planet that was meant to be his grave became his workshop. The Zephyrians had expected him to last 3 days. After 30 days with no distress signal, they assumed he was dead and filed their report. Case closed. They were wrong. Marcus spent months learning Tempest 7's secrets. He discovered that the lightning wasn't just electromagnetic. It carried trace minerals that had unique properties. He learned to read the storm's moods, to predict where the most powerful strikes would fall. He built a shelter that didn't just survive the storms but thrived in them, powered entirely by the planet's electrical fury. When the supply ship arrived 6 months later, to collect any remains for bureaucratic purposes, they found something impossible: a human settlement in the heart of the storm zone glowing with captured lightning. Marcus emerged from his lightning-powered home, his hair white from constant electrical exposure but his eyes bright with discovery. He had learned to dance with the storm, and in doing so had unlocked the planet's greatest secret. Tempest 7 wasn't just a death world. It was the galaxy's most potent natural power source. "Impossible," whispered Captain Vextar over the communication channel. "No one survives Tempest 7. Marcus grinned, electricity still crackling faintly around his fingers. "You're right, but I'm not trying to survive it. I'm living with it." The human had taken the Zephyrians' ultimate punishment and turned it into the ultimate opportunity. Within a year, Tempest 7 became the site of the galaxy's first storm harvesting facility, with Marcus Chen as its chief engineer. The planet that was meant to kill him had instead made him invaluable. The Zephyrian Empire, faced with their former prisoner's success, quietly dropped all charges and offered him a lucrative contract. Marcus accepted, but on one condition: Tempest 7 would be declared a human protectorate. As he stood in his lightning-lit laboratory, watching the eternal storms rage outside, Marcus reflected on the irony. The aliens had thought the storm would kill him. Instead, he had learned to dance with lightning, and in doing so had shown the galaxy what humans did best. They adapted, they endured, and they turned the impossible into the inevitable. The storm still raged, but now it danced to his rhythm.